Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is from Deadline, dated January 2nd, 2024. I can't read it. Domino Patton, something like that. Criminal enterprise Scientology should face RICO charges. Danny Masterson, accusers say. Update. Editor's note. This story has been updated to reflect more information that has been presented about Leah Remini's name on anti-Scientology websites. The Church of Scientology should be labeled a criminal enterprise due to its pattern of racketeering activity, say the plaintiffs in the civil harassment case against the David Miscavige-led organization and Danny Masterson. LAPD, did you hear that? LAPD! With 3 more rape claims against the incarcerated That 70s Show actor in a proposed Second amended complaint, the accusers want the LA courts to allow mafia-inspired RICO charges to be included in the case now. Me personally, I really hope that goes through. You can run, but you can't hide. Scientology and Danny Masterson harassment trial, date set. At almost the same time, in another lawsuit, the church seems to have put forth weak evidence, cult, for its own argument that one of the main reasons it harshly criticizes Leah Remini is because the former Scientologist has long been inspiring violence against Scientology and its leadership. By the way, she was sexually assaulted as well. Heading toward a September 22nd, 2025 trial date, after various unsuccessful attempts by Scientology cult to get the 2019 filed harassment dispute by ex-members of the church pulled out of the courts. Sucks to be them, doesn't it? The December 27th filed leave to amend, read it here, says the addition of the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act is legitimate because many of Scientology's criminal enterprises' money-making schemes are criminal in nature. Yep. Looking at a hearing on the leave to amend motion set for February 27th, the proposed 22-claim SAC from plaintiffs Christy Carnell Bixler, Cedric Bixler Zavala, Jane Doe number 1, Babette Reales, Jane Doe number 2, and Tricia Vesey adds the church cult routinely and systematically engages in fraud, human trafficking, identity theft, and money laundering to fill its coffers and enrich its leadership. That's just a start. Defendant David Miscavige is the undisputed and unquestioned leader of this criminal enterprise and derives significant financial benefit from Scientology cult's criminal and unlawful activity, the potential SAC bluntly says. It's not just David Miscavige. We just can't put all of this on David Miscavige. I'm sorry. The allegations about the church cult are complete fabrications, that's what they always say, and the litigation nothing but an attempted money grab, as they always say. A Scientology cult spokesperson said to Deadline Tuesday, represented by attorneys from Boyce, Schiller Flexner's LA and San Francisco offices, and Fort Lauderdale's Edwards Henderson Learman, the now 6 plaintiff strong civil suit seeks a variety of damages and injunctive relief. Wonder if there's ever going to be a class action lawsuit. I don't know law that well, but I really think a lot more victims need to come out, especially with the essays, regardless of the statute of limitations, because the so-called police always try to use that one. Birds of a feather. In their original complaint of almost 5 years ago, the original plaintiffs claimed they were put under surveillance, fair gaming, by the church cult, repeatedly harassed, and had pets slaughtered after going to the LAPD with their rape claims against Masterson several years ago. Yes, they've killed a lot of people's pets. Now in part thanks to California's statute of limitations lifting, thank you, lifting Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. I hope other states follow suit here. Which expired on December 31st last year, the SAC takes a much stronger emphasis on the sexual assaults and alleged sexual assaults by Masterson and Scientology cult active role in the aftermath. While Scientology knew that defendant Masterson was a rapist, yep, as well as a lot more people still in the cult, and I'm not giving women a pass here, due to Scientology's cult criminal enterprise concealment of that fact, plaintiffs Bixler, Reales, Vesey, and Jane Doe's 1 and 2 did not. The LA Superior Court filing says, I don't understand what they meant right there. Adding non-Scientologist Tricia Vesey as a sexual assault victim of Masterson's, along with alleged 1996 rape of actress Vesey, who testified at Masterson's criminal trials, the proposed Second Amendment complaint also contains previously undisclosed, allegedly covered-up rapes by Masterson of a 15-year-old Scientologist. Minor. In 1994, and another female member of the cult in 1996. I'm going to just go off on a tangent here. I used to watch the 70s show a little bit, but I never liked Masterson. Like, he creeped me the F out. He creeped me the F out. To be honest, if I look back on it, I kind of liked the girl characters more. Like, because I could relate to them. And my sisters, most of my sisters were, well, my one sister was like super 70s hippie. So it was very familiar to me. And especially the hair and all that. But I never liked him. And now I can see why. There was something about him that creeped me the F out. And I was right. Look at his eyes, just creepy as F. Corporate defendants and defendant Miscavige closely monitor and protect celebrity members and everybody else with their cameras and barbed wire. The leave to amend notes. To that end, upon information and belief, corporate defendants and defendant Miscavige worked with defendant Masterson. We could call him a felon now, right? A convicted felon. With convicted felon Masterson to keep his sexual assault victims, rape victims, from reporting their abuse, and mobilized on aggressive harassment campaign against the victims once the sexual assaults were disclosed. Rapes. So tired of people glossing over the real terms. Creepy as F. Disgusting. Ugh. I didn't want to look at him. Now, you guys all know there's more in there. And I'm imploring some of you, especially you male Scientologists, you guys need to clean house. If you're decent human beings, you need to clean house. Filed on the same day that the multiple rape convicted Masterson, there we go, was transferred from jail in LA to North Kern State Prison in Delano, California. They should have put him further out. To serve the bulk of his 30 years to life sentence. Don't make it easy for him. The December 27th leave to amend from several victims in the actor's criminal trials leaves no doubt that in their view, all Scientology's cult is interested in is money. That's true. And they'll sell their children for it too. Seeking now to significantly expand the originally 2019 filed case, the plaintiffs claim the church, which has high-profile members such as Tom Cruise, Elizabeth Moss, and John Travolta, will do anything to keep the cash flowing, especially if it involves celebrities. They need to fix the grammar here. AKA public ambassadors. Echoing language heard by prosecutors in Masterson's two criminal trials, the December 27th filed leave to amend lays out how it alleges Scientology cult really works when you cross them, and when you cross them, it's so much more than that, and the importance of famous members. And they're just as responsible. I mean, like, nobody's above anything here. That's what I'm trying to say. See a portion of the suit below. As with many criminal enterprises, Scientology takes steps to protect itself and its co-conspirators from governmental authorities. At this point, if you guys don't know they're all in on it, like, I don't know what to say. Takes a two-faced approach to protecting its criminal activities. It simultaneously presents an innocuous front to the public while terrorizing any who speak out about its unlawful activity. Just the barbed wire alone should tell you guys everything. And they all, like, all these government agencies know about this. Ring-a-ding-a-ding. Any who speak out about its unlawful activity in order to intimidate them and dissuade them, fair gaming, from seeking protection from law enforcement or from cooperating with governmental authorities. I just want to add real quick, I'm not trying to be hardcore here, but we have to be honest. A lot of them that are saying they want to help and they're out now, a lot of them were involved. So I think each individual, everything should be taken on an individual basis. You know, there's redemption. There's redemption, but there's going to be certain things that you can't get too much redemption on. In order to provide itself with a patina of legitimacy, Scientology's cult criminal enterprise recruits celebrities to serve as its public ambassadors. Defendant Daniel Masterson is one such celebrity. During Masterson's long association with Scientology's cult, criminal enterprise used its resources to assist Masterson with his burgeoning acting career and provided him preferential treatment within Scientology cult. This is going on long. In exchange, Masterson publicly supported Scientology cult and its criminal enterprise by, for example, claiming Scientology cult cures depression, while presenting itself outwardly as a respectable organization. Scientology's criminal cult enterprise has implemented a policy of terrorizing victims and witnesses, fair gaming. They need to start attacking the policies. Boy, that'd freaking get them mad. Of its crimes, whether or not those victims or any witnesses are Scientologists, into keeping Scientology's cult crimes secret. Their whole organization is built on secrecy. Is it any wonder why the children keep getting hurt and nobody's doing anything? And let's just be honest, a lot of these elder and older Scientologists, the ones that have kind hearts, like that they're good inside, I'll bet a lot of them were sexually abused too. So actually, boy, I'm going off now, but they should have been more protective. I feel bad for them though. This begins by inculcating its members to distrust outsiders. It's a snitch mentality. Where have we heard that before? The last 3 years, if you don't do this thingity thing, they tried to get your neighbors and your family to snitch on you, just like in World War II. Do you guys think this is all like random? It's not. And particularly to distrust governmental enforcement. Well, I'm not going to say anything there. Scientology's cult criminal enterprise has a strict policy against reporting crimes to the authorities. Yeah, they're buddy boys, LAPD and Clearwater fake police. I don't even know how that can happen. Like one of the videos I was watching yesterday where the activists, I would say human rights activists, were outside of the North Hollywood. They had some type of some kind of get together. And the LAPD were there as their security. How is that even legal? I know they got a lot of money, like obviously, but how is that even illegal? Anyways. And if a member does find the courage to go to the authorities, not that it helps or anything, Scientology's cult criminal enterprise and its agents engage in a coordinated effort to wreak havoc on the victim's life through a targeted harassment campaign. These harassment campaigns, threats and intimidation, extend to non-members as well, who are frequently targeted for harassment, suppressed people, squirrels. If Scientology's cult criminal enterprise sees them as a threat, they see everybody as a threat. And they lie on everyone. They call everybody like Big Pharma, that we're with Big Pharma. How psycho is that? Meanwhile, the children are getting essayed, but let's stop the Big Pharma people, as people die without getting medications. The move to amend the long-running suit by the Masterson criminal trial accusers, they're pretty much vindicated. They're no longer accusers. They're victims. Or survivors. I like survivors. Isn't the only legal spotlight Scientology cult is in right now, you think? One-time high-profile church member Leah Remini's harassment suit of August 2nd has taken a very odd turn, intentionally or not. In a December 22nd deposition from Taiwanese citizen Yi Chen, Kathy Wan, the currently LA-based Scientology cult volunteer religious worker. The only reason I laugh, nobody can decide what the hell they are, right? Nobody knows what they are. They're a religion one day, then the next day they're a volunteer. They have management and employees and work times, but I don't know. Volunteer religious worker detailed the January 2019 knife attack by enraged teenager. Oh, this sounds like a setup. By enraged teenager Tony in Sydney, Australia. Oh, never mind. This is different. That KILLED one church security officer and wounded another. That's because the guy was a paranoid schizophrenic and they wouldn't let him have his medicine. His mom wouldn't let him. It's awful. And somebody had taken his the little things that they listen to their music. He was upset about. That's so sad. Oh my God. All the kid wanted was his little radio thing, his little music, and they wouldn't give it to him. He had schizophrenia. Yes. And wounded another. Scientology cult has long put blame for this tragic incident on the Scientology. Oh my goodness. Scientology in the aftermath host, declaring Remini has blood on her hands. Unbelievable. Now in the LA Superior Court docket, as a vital January 9th hearing looms in this case, Juan's on the scene declaration, read it here, could be a potentially strong rebuttal to large swaths of Remini's initial suit against the church cult. It could be except the 4-page deposition is an apparent contradiction to Scientology's war of words, and more with the king or queen star. Juan says absolutely nothing about Remini in relation to the fatal attack or anything else for that matter. That's just so tragic. That's tragic. Like, to me, if I was the mother, that would be my big cue to get the F out of there. You know? In fact, reaffirming previous Australian court findings on the incident, Juan's declaration focuses on 16-year-old Tony being upset over potential pornographic materials. What? Oh, there's something weird about this. His Scientologist mother took off. Oh, I think they twisted that. I remember reading somewhere he just wanted his music device. That was it. All he wanted was his music, and she took his music away from him. That was all he had, and she took it away from him. So something funny about what this is. You know, they lie just like nothing. His Scientologist mother took off one of his electronic devices on the advice of a church member. And even if he did, you know how it is, like they maybe he wanted to see a pretty girl like with less clothing. So what? If that's true, I don't think it is. The boy, they had to change the story up because him wanting his music would have just known how evil and sinister they all are. The boy was at the suburban Sydney Scientology location in the early afternoon of January 3rd, 2019, demanding to talk to Steve, who had supposedly promised Tony he could get the deleted material. No, it was about music. Think about this, guys. That doesn't even make sense. That he's demanding his pornographic material. Come on. Doesn't even make sense. He wanted his music back. Poor baby. He didn't have anything, doesn't have his medication, and that's all he has is his music to go relax to and walk, and they wouldn't even give him that. They changed the whole story. Frustrated over Steve not appearing immediately, Juan says that when Tony started slashing people, it's all lies. That doesn't even make sense. Think how stupid that sounds. They really think people are going to believe that story. What is that called when you lie in court? There's a word for it. After the police... Oh, yeah, now are they going to actually do something? Too late now. After the police arrived and detained Tony, Juan had a conversation with his mother, and the parent gave her a URL to an Can you see how fake this is? I'm just getting irritated reading this. Juan had a conversation with his mother, and the parent gave... See how they talk? And she gave her a URL to an anti-Scientology site the teen had been recently reading on his phone. Juan says she turned the address over to the church's legal department, so she snitched on her own son. And that was that. If he did, he might have. They're not mentioning the music that they took from him, though. That Chinese site is no longer available. Wow, shocking. Although it appears to have been moved to another domain and archived on archive.org. It's all hearsay. However, an archived screenshot by the church cult. Conveniently, they have this. Come on, people. From 4 days after the murderous attack appears to have a lot of criticism of the cult on it. And at last, one reference to Remini and her show within the comments section. That's crazy. In October 25th, 2023, declaration submitted to LASC by cult minister Lynn Farney cites the Chinese anti-website and its links to Remini's aftermath. Oh, gosh, that's crazy. They're actually submitting this crap into the court. It's unbelievable. You'd have to be the dumbest moron to believe this. As including it as an exhibit, a prior reference to archive copied of the Chinese she dated from a month before the attack, not containing references to Remini, has been removed. Further, because it was never there. Further research on archive.org indicates that the same comment referencing Remini and her show appeared on those tapes. Wow. And now, by the way, that young boy, Tony, he killed, well, I did read that earlier. He killed one of the security guards, and he wounded the other. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I don't think people deserve to be taken out, but you keep putting your hands on people and trying to control him. All this kid wanted was his music. They deleted all of that, because I read it several other places, that all he wanted was his music, and his mother wouldn't give it back to him. And then they twisted it all around, said it was an anti-Scientology site. He might have seen one of those. That's a possibility. But then also all this craziness with Leah Remini. I mean, come on. The Juan Declaration will likely come up in the hearing set for next week, and the case remains to be seen. In terms of the civil case by several of the victims, since he's been proven that he actually did rape them, so they're no longer accusers. Get a grip on the English language, people. Masterson's criminal trials, that jury trial set. Matter sees a February 13th hearing in downtown Los Angeles. Oh, it's just a few days away. LASC Judge Upinder Kalra on Scientology's move to strike large portions of the suit. I hope that judge does the right thing, because it's about freaking time somebody does the right thing, and we need to get these children out of Scientology. And the babies, all of them. All of them. This is just awful. Peace.